Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to
Oh, you didn't know?
with Tony Reavis.
What up, everybody? If you don't know, I am Tony Reavis, and yes, welcome back to episode 3 of Oh, You Didn't Know with Tony Reavis. That's me. Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Episode 3, third week. We're doing it. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having an awesome week. Hope you're staying out of the heat. This heat has been crazy. Hope you're staying dry if you're down south. Man, a lot of craziness going on with the weather. What is that about? But I hope you're all doing all right. Hope you're having a good week. And thank you for tuning back in. This is episode 3. This is awesome. We're doing it. Episode 3. I'm excited to be back. I have an awesome guest for you guys today. His name is Antonio Fernandez. I'll talk a little bit more about him at the end of this opening segment before we get into that interview. It's a fantastic interview. Amazing. You'll be inspired. You'll hear a great story of following your dreams and making your dreams a reality. So, you're going to love it. So stay tuned for that. But I'm back, guys. I'm here and I'm I don't know really what I'm going to talk about today. I'm just kind of hanging out and trying to stay cool. And, LA's had a massive heat wave lately, and it's just a disaster in my apartment because I live on the second floor of an old building, so we don't have central air. Heat rises. It's 15 degrees hotter in my apartment than it is outside. And if it gets 100 degrees outside, it's a sauna in my room. I actually got out of the shower the other day, looked down at my feet, and they were like hobbit feet, like troll feet. They were huge. I've never seen my feet so swollen because I'm retaining water because it's so hot and I've been having too much sodium in my diet and stuff like that. So I just looked down. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even put my shoes on. It was crazy. So I'm ready for fall. I am ready for this heat to stop. Now, I know it's been crazy too. Back home in the Northwest, it's been hot as well. And there's crazy fires going on up in the Northwest. It's like snowing ash all over, the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully everyone's doing all right up there. All the hurricane stuff, prayers go out to Houston, prayers go out to Florida with this next big hurricane that's going through right now in the Caribbean. It's just crazy. The world is going crazy right now. And I just want it all to come back down to earth, down to normalcy would be nice. But yeah, guys, episode 3, we're here. What am I going to talk about today? I don't know. It's football season. NFL starts this weekend, which is awesome. So I'll probably talk a little bit about that. What I do want to talk about first, though. So me and my roommate, we went to a movie this week. We went and saw the Goofy movie from 1995, playing at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. It's a Disney-owned theater. When they don't have any new releases for Disney or Marvel or anything like that, they show their classics. And this week, they decided to show a Goofy movie, which is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, what is wrong with you? Go watch it right now. But yeah, it's like a cult classic Disney movie. And it was a really cool experience to go watch this film at this place with all these other fans. And, you go to a movie and usually it's quiet and, people are just respectfully watching the movie. They're laughing when they need to. And sometimes people clap, which is weird. But here at such a cult classic movie like this, everyone's like reciting the lines, everyone's singing the songs, and it was awesome. It was cool. It's like it was an awesome environment to do that. And since it's such a classic movie that has such a big part of my childhood. But it also made me sad. I hadn't seen it in a while and I forgot how sad it made me. It made me want to, right when I left, tell my dad that I love him. Because, it's so sad. So, it's about Goofy and his son Max. And his son Max doesn't want to hang out with him anymore because he's growing up and Goofy's a big nerd. And it's just you could see how it breaks his heart and it's made me sad. So make sure you guys, tell your parents you love them. All right. They're not so different and you might not get along all the time or they might not understand you and you don't understand them, but they're wise. They've been through it. So listen to your parents, tell your parents that you love them and, go fishing with your dad if he wants you to go fishing. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was fun. It's cool to be able to do that. That's one of the perks about LA is you get a lot of cool things like that. You can't just do that anywhere. To go see a movie from 1995 in theaters again like that. It's one of the cool things I do like about LA. This heat, though, I do not like. I'm over that. I'm ready for this heat to stop. But I guess that's part of being in LA. It's never cold, and I miss being cold. I miss being in Seattle and getting to wear sweatshirts every day or wearing a North Face jacket. No, I have to sleep naked here, and I still wake up sweaty. I was up till 4 a.m. one day and I had to work in the next morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shower at 4 a.m. before I fall asleep so I can just wake up later and just go straight to work. Problem was, when I woke up in a pool of sweat and I was like, I can't go to work like this. I got to take another shower. What the heck? I'm sick of that. It's September. It is September right now. Summer should be over. Enough of the 100 degrees. All right. Now, I'm not asking for like snow, even though snow's cool. I love snow, but I know in LA that's not going to happen. But like, just let it be comfortable where I'm not sweating in my house just sitting here. It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm ready. I'm ready for fall, guys. I'm not a pumpkin spice latte guy. I don't really care about the leaves and stuff like that. I'm tired of sweating. That's why I like fall. I also like fall because of football, which I talked about before that I was going to talk about. I'll just go ahead and talk about it now. I'm excited for football. It starts today, the first game, actually, opening game. And then, Seahawks play Saturday or Sunday. So I'm excited for that. But I'm even more excited for fantasy football. I don't know if you do fantasy football. I love fantasy football. I'm awesome at it. I wrote a play about dudes who talk about fantasy. I mean, that's not what the play's about, but in the play, they talk about fantasy football. So fantasy football is a big part of my life. I love it. I love it. Had my drafts. I love my teams. I'm excited for this year. It's an awesome part. It helps. It brings another side of being a fan to the sport, I think. And I really enjoy that because I'm a huge fan of sports in the first place. Like I love the Seahawks, diehard Seahawks fan. Mariners, I love the Mariners in baseball and their season's come to a close and it's up and down. Don't know what's going to happen there, but being able to have fantasy on the side, it just brings another side of fandom to it. And I love it. I love it so much. But I do have a problem with some quote unquote fans and the way they react. And fantasy football brought out the big ugly part of this behavior with social media. And now it's like you're relying on specific players to score you points and stuff like that. And it gets a little crazy. Some people need to check themselves and, tone it down a little bit. All right. Now I'm a very positive fan, right? I have the mindset that until the game is over, I think we can win. I don't care if we're down 10 runs in the 9th inning. That's the beauty about baseball. You can still get 10 runs in a row and win. And I'm that sickly positive guy where until the game is officially over, I still believe. And until we're officially eliminated from the playoffs, I believe we'll still win the World Series. That's who I am. There's some people who are a little more emotional when it comes to their sporting events and their teams that they're a fan of, who we lose one game and they're ready to like burn down the building. You guys need to relax, okay? It's sports. It's supposed to be fun, all right? If you ever find yourself on Twitter sending a direct tweet to a player commenting on their performance, oh, you suck, why are you not hitting the ball, or why are you not scoring touchdowns? What is wrong with you, okay? That's my big problem with this. It's okay to be a fan. It's okay to be passionate. I'm extremely passionate about it. But people act like these guys who, just because they're getting paid millions of dollars, people act like they're not trying to win the game. Just because you have a bad game, that's what sports is. Okay? Especially baseball. Baseball is a game of failure. And what I mean by that is if you get out 7 out of 10 times, right? So 10 of your at-bats, if you get out 7 out of those 10 at-bats, you're an all-star. Do you understand that? If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're one of the best players in the league. It's the only sport where that exists. Now, if in football, if you're a quarterback and you threw 7 incompletions out of 10 passes, you're not very good. Because it's not a game of failure. Baseball is a game of failure. That means you get a hit 3 out of 10 times, meaning you have a 300 batting average, which is really, really good. If you can bat 300, you're solid, okay? So if you go 0 for 4 in one game, maybe 0 for 4 in another game, that's what happens in baseball, okay? And I understand being upset, especially if you're a star player and you need to, kind of lead your team. That's fine. But going on Twitter and adding this person and saying you suck is absolutely ridiculous. If a team loses 5 games in a row, does that mean they don't want to win? No. It's sports. That's what happens. Just like they can lose 5 games in a row, they can win the next 5. All right? Just because they're playing poorly doesn't mean they don't want it anymore. And we as fans, we get the notion that we want to win more than they do. We care more than the players do. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't care that they're making $200 million over 10 years. They play to win the game. Okay, they play to win. I don't care what they're getting paid. They're not playing unless they have it in their DNA to win. You know this as an athlete. If you're ever an athlete or you're ever competitive, I don't care if it's the smallest, your Little League game when you're 10 or your state championship in high school, you want to win that game when you step between those lines. Okay, so these people who go on Twitter and attack players for poor performances, get a life. Seriously, get a life. And I know I'm sure it doesn't affect the players as much as it's obviously affecting me right now. It just bugs me. It bugs me because we as fans act like we know more than these players or act like we care more than these players. And you just need to check yourself on Twitter. Okay? If you ever find yourself sending a tweet to a player to bash his performance, you need to go outside. You need to close your computer, unplug it, put her in a box, and ship her off somewhere else. You lost your privileges. Okay? It is absolutely ridiculous. And with fantasy football, oh my gosh, it just exploded exponentially. This behavior, these reactions. Because, I need Des Bryant to score a touchdown so I can win my fantasy football. Why didn't you dive for the pylon when you were on the team? Get out of town. Get out of here. Goodbye. Okay? You sitting at your desk for 40 hours a week, typing up expense reports, do not get to talk to Des Bryant, an elite athlete, about anything about his performance. Okay? Do you understand me? Do you understand the divide here? Us armchair quarterbacks who think we know everything about the sport, trying to tell Aaron Rodgers to stop throwing interceptions. Right? When we couldn't even throw it to an open receiver it was just me and the receiver in the stadium and there's no one even there, and I'd probably overthrow him. Yet he's got 11 guys barreling down at him, a stadium of 70,000 people. He's got to make 3 checkdowns to find the open receiver. Maybe the ball goes off the receiver's hands and gets tipped for an interception, and we're tweeting Aaron Rodgers, maybe you should focus more on practicing. What? I'm sorry, excuse me? Ooh, man. That really grinds my gears when I see that on Twitter. When I see people attacking players on their performances. It's okay. It's okay to be upset if your team loses, if your favorite player doesn't play so well. It's okay to be upset about it. But verbally attacking him? Are you kidding me? Could you imagine being at work and you're supposed to turn in a report and you turned it in a day late and your boss goes publicly across the office just shaming you? That's what you're doing. What you say on the internet lives forever. What you say. You sound stupid. You sound so stupid when you do these things. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, try to throw less interceptions. Maybe hit your open receiver. I don't know. It doesn't seem that hard. Then you do it. Get off your butt. Go to the NFL Combine and show us what you got. Okay? Let's see you go on the field and hit BP against 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. Oh, wait, he's got a 90-mile-an-hour slider too? Can you touch that? No, you can't. All right? I'm pretty sure I can go out there with you and throw you BP and throw you a knuckleball that just floats around and you'll pop up to the catcher. Because it's baseball. It's sports. These are elite athletes. Stop acting like you know anything about what they have to do. Just because you didn't make it doesn't give you the right to talk about these players when they have a bad game. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I just went hard on that topic. That's been festering in me for a while, I think. Just because I see it all the time. I see it. And it's a beautiful thing because I know people are passionate. My best friend, Dane, see, he's a different story. We have this like running joke where we do like a yin and yang thing where he's negative and I'm positive, and it's like a joke to kind of like switch up karma. And he does it as a joke. Like to me, like if like someone, like our pitcher gives up a home run, he's like, oh, well, that was, good pitch. And it's like, that's a joke to kind of like, we have a running gag. But there's people who literally go on Twitter and like at the person, like at this pitcher directly to them. Like, why are you throwing fastballs down the middle of the plate? Like, excuse me, who are you? Who are you? How many years have you been paid to play baseball or to be a scout or to be a coach? Oh, none years? That's the answer? Then shut your trap. Shut your trap, log off Twitter, and read a book. Read a book, all right? Plant a tree. I don't know. Just do anything productive for this world, because what you're doing on Twitter is not at all. I'm tired of seeing it. Oh, man. I'm getting a little blood red mad right now. I got to just calm down. But I'm excited. I'm excited for fantasy football. You can tell how much I think about this, but again, I'm a positive guy. So, it's, that's just the way I go. And it's even, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. I can't believe I did not bring this up. This one is even worse. This is the worst thing. And when I see this, it makes me want to literally knock on your front door and stab you in the face. When a player gets injured, okay, they tear their ACL and they're out for the season, and you have the gall to blame them for your fantasy football season? What? This person's livelihood and body that they put on the line every day is broken. And all you think about is you lost $25 in your fantasy football league. Insane. We have way too much power on the internet. The internet can be a beautiful thing. Internet allows you to share opinions. It's great. We hear news that we wouldn't normally hear all over the world, and can be made aware of this. Me personally, I get to create things like this podcast, like my gaming videos, and it's something that's like artistic and creative for me as a release. But it is also can be so ugly. The internet can be so ugly. And again, I'm sure that the athletes themselves just like laugh it off, and they probably don't even see it and they just ignore it. But I see it and it bugs me because I know how hard athletes work. All right, I've been lucky enough to know a few, professional athletes from time to time, like get to talk to them, and get to meet them around LA or people that like went to my high school with my brothers or something like that, and just get to like, I know what they do to keep their body in shape and to stay on top of the game, and they work harder than anybody, So it's crazy to me that we have the audacity to call them out if they throw an interception. Man, if that's what you spend your time doing, you need better hobbies. You need to be more productive. Go to a homeless shelter and help. You know what I mean? Go clean up trash at a park. Do something productive for this environment, for this community. Stay off Twitter with your thumbs, you jagaloon. Anyway. Oh, that got too negative. I don't like that. I don't want my podcast to be so negative, but I had to say it. All right? Because it was negative, but it's all about bringing more positivity Positivity. Let's be positive on Twitter. All right. Let's encourage these athletes. They want to win. Trust me, they want to win. And they know that you care, and that makes them care more. So let's just encourage them. I'm excited for football season, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the Seahawks to go all the way. I'm ready for fantasy football. I'm ready. Let's do it. Anyway, I'm going to bring more positivity to this podcast upcoming next with this interview I did with my good buddy, Antonio Fernandez. You guys need to listen to this interview. It is amazing. Antonio Fernandez is an incredible person. He's one of the greatest guys I've ever met. I've known him since I was probably 12 years old, and we knew of each other before that, but we became buds when we were about 12, playing sports together, went to high school together. Not a nicer person on this planet. Couldn't be more happy for him and his successes. You'll hear all about how he turned a hobby into a dream that he's now living out every day. He's a singer, but he's a beatboxer. He's a professional beatboxer. How awesome is that? It's incredible. So you're going to want to hear this story about how he turned that into a real thing, into a job where he gets paid and he gets to live out his dream every day. It's fantastic. It'll inspire you. Whatever dream you have, he's living proof that you can make it happen. He's got great advice to how to make that happen. He's got great stories about, almost giving up and sticking it out. And now he's at Disney World. He's getting paid to beatbox at Disney World. He's amazing. So check it out. Got an awesome interview with him. Talk to you. And then I'm going to play a song that he was on with one of his friends named DJ. They made a song where Antonio did the entire beat. It's all a cappella. So DJ sang it, did the vocals, but Antonio did the beat by beatboxing. There's like a mouth trumpet solo. It's crazy. It's awesome. And won a bunch of awards. You'll get to check that out, but stay tuned. Awesome interview with my man, Antonio Fernandez, coming up next. We got an awesome interview coming right up. But first, I would like to take a moment to tell you about an awesome project I've been working on. Everyone has heard me talk about football and how much I love it. Well, I love it so much that I wrote a play about it. Play to the Whistle is a play about 4 friends getting together to watch a football game to bond after mourning the loss of a loved one whose funeral took place earlier that day. It's a dark comedy that will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and I'm bringing it home to Seattle. That's right, but only if I can sell enough tickets. I currently have a Kickstarter running until the end of September where you can get your ticket to the show. The show's taking place at the famous Carco Theater in Renton, Washington, and I want you there. Tickets are only $20 each, and I promise it will be an event you won't soon forget. I can only make this happen if I sell at least 150 tickets and time is running out, so I need your help. Please help my dreams of performing at home come true and head over to the Kickstarter and grab your tickets today. Find the link in the description. All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I got a very special guest today. I'm very excited to have him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Fernandez. Thank you for coming on.
What?
Thanks for coming on, man. Me and Antonio, we go way back. But go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you are.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, me in a nutshell, I am like an introverted extrovert that's trying to experience the most I can in life, soaking in every moment and trying to tone into the deepest passions that I have that I can express to the world.
That is a wonderful introduction to somebody. That's awesome. Cool. So what do you do? Give people a little reason of what do you do?
So I am a full-time beatboxer and singer at Disney World over in Orlando, Florida, where it's hot every day.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this since I moved here April 6th, actually Easter of 2015.
Oh, wow.
And I've been doing that full-time. So it's a 20-minute a cappella show with 5 people. I'm the beatboxer. We have 4 other singers. And we do pop music of all different genres throughout the decades in a consistent 20-minute, no breaks, no pitch reference, go, 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 go,
wow.
belt show. and we do that 5 times a day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
And so the matrix is kind of set up as I don't necessarily, the full-time cast doesn't necessarily do that all the time, but that's kind of the gist of the show. So that's what I moved to Orlando, Florida for. But I'm pretty much just a freelance musician, performer, MC, host, kind of wanting to be a jack of all trades.
Right. Awesome.
Kind of shooting for everything musical, anything I can possibly get done. That's pretty much me.
Right on, man. And we're going to get into all that good stuff in Disney. Very excited to talk about that. It was very cool to see when you moved out there. I was very excited for it. But let's take it back. Let's go back to growing up, because we knew each other at a pretty young age, and we're both doing things that we weren't necessarily doing when we first met each other. It's kind of funny how paths take you somewhere. But talk about growing up. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in a cottage in Scotland.
I didn't know that.
Okay. So I grew up in Seattle, the whole Seattle area. Moved a few times up until 3rd grade, and then in 3rd grade moved to Kent, Washington, and stayed. My parents still live there in Kent. So, kind of your sort of typical Pacific Northwest raising. Had parents that absolutely loved me and have been there to support me and help me. And I've always been a shy introvert and struggled, like in school with reading and writing. Like I was super freaking slow at it, and it caused a lot of mental havoc on me. So school was a struggle. Like struggle was one of the big words of school for me. Come middle school, already in Kent, I actually was homeschooled half the day.
Right.
So homeschooled half the day, then went to school for the rest, like science, math, and band and lunch. Lunch was my favorite class.
Right, you gotta have lunch there.
Yeah. And so I pretty much like started the whole music thing 5th grade of elementary school. Right before 5th grade, that summer before, my mom handed me a clarinet and a trumpet. She said, choose. And so I sat there in the garage like, okay, which one do I want to do? And literally I chose the trumpet because I could play it and it was loud. Yeah. So literally I was like, all right, that's the one. And so I played trumpet from 5th to 11th grade. And I did 0 hour from 7th grade, the first year of middle school, all the way to the end of high school. And so I did jazz band from 7th grade until 11th grade. And then I did vocal ensemble 11th grade through 12th grade. So in 10th grade, my friends were like, hey, I know you love playing the trumpet, but you should definitely try out for the choir. You should check it out. And I was like, oh, okay, super shy. And Tony's like, I don't know. But I walked in that room, and at least I went to Kentwood High School. At least there, I don't know, but to me, I just felt kind of more like an item in band because there were so many people. And then I felt like my own individual self in choir. I could just see it. Like people were just bouncing off the walls, high energy, but like were themselves.
Right.
So I auditioned with good old Kiss by a Rose by Seal. That was my first audition song ever.
Classic.
Yep.
Good choice.
And then
Dude, I remember, that's so funny, because I remember, God, it was our friend Jordan's birthday. This was a few years ago, and we went to Seattle. We went karaokeing, and we sang that song.
Totally. Oh yeah, that's right.
That's so funny.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So growing up, it was pretty much like music and sports. Those were kind of the things. Like being a boy was doing sports, and that was also something I enjoyed, and that was my camaraderie with my friends. That was like when I was middle school. When I went into high school and didn't really know anybody, I knew the buds on my baseball team and basketball team. And actually, Tony, you were one of them.
Yeah, that's where we met, on the baseball field.
On baseball, and I don't know if it was before or after, but I remember meeting you in basketball and being scared shitless because 4th grade, we were playing at, I forgot the name of the elementary school, but we were playing basketball. You were on the opposite team, and I was already like a scaredy cat when it came to basketball. And you came barreling down the court, coming right after me. I was like, ah! And I literally just passed the ball to someone else.
Yeah, I was already 6'3" in 4th grade too. So
so
already had the beard and everything.
That was my first interaction with you. I was like, oh God, that's a man.
That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah, but then we started playing baseball together. And I remember the first time we were actually on the same team, because we knew each other, playing against each other, that kind of thing. But we were on an all-star team together. That's the first time we played together.
Right,
and I remember we already knew, like, we would have you beatbox for us all the time at practice.
That's right.
That's how it started. We were like, Antonio, drop us a beat. Because you already
Nate Cole would call me Mr. Microphone Head.
That's right. Yeah, we have you do the Darth Vader beat.
That's right. Yeah. And honestly, that's like how I made friends. Like in middle school, I was the chameleon. So I was the shy, introverted nerd that could have like fit into the little cliques of the popular kids with beatboxing.
Yeah.
That like I'll never forget Danny Bounce. I was able to fit into the cool table that he was in because I beatboxed.
Yeah.
So it's like I was able to kind of fit into each crowd that way, where I fit into like the gothic kids, because I just always loved just conversating with different people. Gothic kids, the popular sports, shy, introvert, weird, nerd, everybody kind of in between. I was just kind of floating in between because I could relate with all in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to this yesterday with my buddy that, you're definitely one of the nicest people that we've ever met. And like in high school, that's kind of tough to kind of transcend that, where people kind of stick to their guns and stick to where they're at. And, you saying that, like, you could go to different groups, it doesn't shock me, because, you're one of the most genuine people I've ever met. So we were just talking about, like, things you're doing and how we're happy for you, because, it could have happened to a better guy. And, but don't let that blow your head up too much. I just wanted to say. It's funny, before we move forward, we'll get into like college and stuff next. We got to talk about my song Dope Ass Day, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is all thanks to Mr. Antonio Fernandez here. He made a song for his SoundCloud, because he's a music producer and everything. He's fantastic. And I heard it, and this was, man, when did you put it out a few years before I even made Dope Ass Day.
Oh, yeah. That was like when I first got my first like real MIDI keyboard that came with Ableton Live Lite, this like basic version of Ableton.
Yeah. And I heard it and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this vibe. I love this song. And then like 3 years later, I was like, dude, how would you feel if I made a song using this? And you were like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. And Dope Ass Day was born. And it's like my trademark now. Like,
that's awesome.
And it's all, thanks to you, Antonio. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy Dope Ass Day, you enjoyed the music video, stuff like that, you have Antonio to thank. Just wanted to make sure we get that in there. But, in high school, I remember we did an event at school that's like once a year, and it's like a male beauty pageant.
Oh my God.
Mr. Kentwood. Yeah. And that was like the first time that I like got to perform in front of people. I always wanted to growing up, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I finally went for it. But that was like the first time I got to do that. And you won that quote-unquote competition, but obviously you should have. And because you did this awesome – we had to do a talent at some point through the show. And you did this beatbox where you beatboxed your day as you wake up and you turn the alarm off, you get in the car, you're driving to school, you're doing the songs on the radio, you do the morning announcements, and I just remember, like, it was I still go back on YouTube and find it sometimes and watch it. And I'm just like anytime I find myself talking about you, like, it comes up in conversation, and I'm like, you got to see this. And it's still today is incredible.
That's awesome. Thank you, man.
And we were in high school. So, talk a little bit about, when did you kind of decide this was the path you wanted to take and that you were going to pursue when it came to music and things like that?
Well, like, as everybody, you kind of have those generic questions in elementary school. What do you want to be when you grow up? Astronaut, firefighter, like these generic things. And those are kind of the items that you can kind of cling on to. But for me, like, music is it is what I am. Like, it's just what I do. It's what I literally breathe, and the only thing I hear in life. Like, I will listen to someone's conversation and hear them go, well, and I'll hear a train in the background go, boo, and hear like, oh, it's the same pitch. Like, wow. My ears are my guide, and it just guides me to my career. Like, so like when I was a little kid, my mom and I were walking up. My mom tells me this story. Her and I were walking upstairs. Nothing was playing. It was just her and I walking upstairs. And I looked at her and I said, Mommy, do you hear the music? And all it is just our footsteps going up. And she's like, this kid's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've always enjoyed music my entire life, been drawn to it, been drawn by interesting sounds. Like Bobby McFerrin is my number one idol. He's like the craziest when it comes to experimental music of just the human voice. And so my cousin and I were watching a video this summer between 6th and 7th grade on E-Bomb's World.
Oh, my gosh, throwback.
Under the Cool tab. And it was this guy beatboxing for, like intermission between, like, a band set. And I was like, hold up. What's going on right now? Is he, like, legit making these sounds just from his mouth? No freaking way. And so it wasn't like from that moment on, Antonio was a professional beatboxer. It wasn't that at all. It was just like, I was like, wow, that is fascinating. And just from the fascination, I just had this drive of like, I just need to learn how to do this. Like, I'm not competing against anybody else. I just need to do this. Like, yeah. I don't know why. There's no like, oh, because when you beatbox like this, you'll get hired to do this. There was none of that. It was just like that fun party trick that I just learned. And wanted to continue growing on. And now I know why. It was a calling that was kind of above my own understanding, that I was able to meet someone, that was able to hook me up, that was able to open up my career. And now I'm a full-time getting paid to make sounds beatboxer.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. It's crazy.
Yeah. Cool. So take us to college. We graduate high school. Where'd you go?
Yeah, so I first went to Bellevue Community College, and then I got my AA there, and then went to Central Washington University to, the goal was to complete my degree, but then my life changed.
Yeah, right. So I know at Bellevue you guys had a pretty awesome group.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
So pretty much Bellevue Community College was the beginning. Well, okay, my last year of high school, Daisy Emmons was our choir director, and she made the vocal ensemble from like an a cappella high school group turn into a vocal jazz group. Yeah. And go down the jazz route, because that was kind of in the scene of the Pacific Northwest, which then led me to like the next best school to go to is Bellevue Community College because of their vocal jazz group. And so I auditioned to Mount Hood Community College and Bellevue Community College because of the vocal jazz groups. And because of play production stuff, too, because, like, come the last 2 years of high school, I was also in a couple plays. Mm. So it's like, all right, vocal jazz and the theater realm. Those are the kind of things I'm going to aim for in college. Went for Bellevue Community College, had a good vibe about it, was in that group for all 3 years, vocal jazz, did, like, the both choirs there, the men's choir and the general choir, and loved it. And that was my home. I did all the, gen eds and everything you have to do, but the music department there was my home. Right. Totally. That's where I met some of my now still closest friends and built myself even deeper as a musician, professional, student, learning music theory, all the different things that are like some of the foundational pieces that I'm still trying to grow on right now. And then so I was in that group for 3 years, and then the next big step was Central Washington University's vocal jazz group. And so I then went to that, auditioned, and was so happy that I got into the group and got into the school. Was actually initially auditioning for elementary music teacher. Elementary music education was the degree I was aiming for, and that's what I auditioned when I auditioned for that purpose. And then I talked to my counselor at that time, and they helped me recognize, okay, Antonio, this is your threshold. Do you want to teach and then write music on the side, or do you want to write music and teach on the side? And so that meeting was like a revolutionary point for me, and I was like, whoa, I want to write music and teach on the side, if I really think about it. And again, it wasn't like this is the decision I'm making. It's just like, at this moment, this is what I'm feeling right now. Right. And just kind of rolling with it. And it totally served me well. I went to Central Washington University for 3 years, studying music composition, switched my degree to that. It was a 4-year program, but I went there throughout those years to do that. In my second year, friends of mine, I was in like choirs and vocal jazz groups over there as well. But friends of mine started, they're like, hey, we want to start an a cappella group. And I was like, okay, what's this going to do? They're like, we want to compete for this thing, the ICCAs. It's like pitch perfect competition in real life. And I was like, that sounds jank. I don't know. I'm not about that. But yeah, sure, we'll give it a try. I had like no faith in it. I was like, this would be fun to do with my friends, but what in the world is ICCA?
Yeah.
Thank God my friends had the persistence to be like, all right, let's really try to make this happen and get this going. And our group ended up calling, I think I came up with the name, but our a cappella group was called Boots and Cats.
Yes.
Boom. Awesome. And so we competed in the ICCAs. My first year, we got into we first competed like at Western Washington University, and then we went to LA for the second round. Mm-hmm. And then we got cut. The second year, same thing happened, got into the second round. And in that second round, I can't remember first year or second year, but my friend was able to get in contact with one of her dad's friends. 24 years ago, her dad used to perform with this guy, Tim Davis. Tim Davis is the co-vocal producer of the TV show Glee.
Oh, wow.
Big deal guy.
Yeah.
Like, huge LA producer, vocal guy, like, incredible. And so she got in contact with him. Hey, Tim, can you watch? By the way, if I'm talking too fast, let me know.
No.
I know I talk fast.
Yeah, no, do your thing.
She was like, hey, Tim, can you help critique our group before our competition? He said, yes, meet me at East West Studios when you guys get to LA. Like, cool. I don't know what that place is, but let's go. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, when I got there, an incredible studio.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The studio that Frank Sinatra recorded My Way in.
Yeah.
The recording studio that Elvis recorded in, and right after us at 3:30, J-Lo was coming in. So it's like, we're like these college kids that are like, what is this place? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So Tim's there with his dapper suit and his bow tie, and he's like, well, children, how's it going? And he's hilarious. And so at that point, he was like, it came to a point where he was like, what all do you guys want to do? And I was like, Antonio, this is your chance. You have to tell this man everything you want to be doing, because you have no idea where this could go, but this guy's the real deal. And so he came to me, and I was like, I want to be a voiceover actor. I want to be a professional studio singer, a professional beatboxer, musician. I want to get better at music theory and blah, 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 blah. And laid off all these different things. After hanging out with him for the day, at the end of the day, he was like, pulled me to the side and said, hey, man, I really dig your energy and your work. And I can't remember all of that he said, but he said, hey, can you send me a demo? And I was like, what? Yes. And this is the thing. This is really funny. A couple months prior, I just watched Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
Yep.
Literally took that movie to heart.
Just saying yes to everything.
Saying yes to everything. Because you never know.
Yeah.
You say yes, and then you figure it out. And if you fail, you'll learn. But if you succeed, then you're able to do something you didn't even know you could do.
Right.
Like, literally took that hilarious comedic movie to heart, and it has literally changed my career.
Hey.
I have Yes Man to thank.
Yeah, thank you, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, so Tim asked for that, and then I went back to school, and then a month later sent him my demo, and then now I'm on his website, and at the time, literally, my picture with my audio clip was right next to Tori Kelly.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous. And, like, Natasha Bedingfield's sister was on there, and, like, all these different people. Because he really is the vocal guy in LA.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That summer 2014, he was like, hey, I was still in college at this point, but he was like, it was coming up in that summer. I was working at a winery. He was like, hey, what do you have going on this summer? Just working. He was like, do you want to come down to LA? And I was like, yep. He was like, cool, you can live with me for like the first month and a half and then figure it out after that. And I was like, what? Okay. So I literally quit work day of, which I always hate doing that because I'm such a nice guy. I'm like, oh, God, I want to give him quick notice. But I'm like, no.
You got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do. So I quit day of and then had like a week left of school and then packed my stuff and went to L.A. and lived with Tim Davis for the first month and a half. And I was able to shadow him at the studio with these people from Glee. He got me hooked up to be on a couple sessions. My first gig ever, my mom and I drove down. When my mom and I arrived, I immediately started recording with him while my mom was there. And what that session was is me doing the background vocals on the video game Just Dance 2015.
Wow.
On the track Don't Worry, Be Happy, Bobby McFerrin. Of all people.
Oh my gosh.
My first gig was the Bobby McFerrin thing. It was amazing.
Destiny,
and so literally did that with him in his studio, and it was incredible. And it was awesome to have my mom there too, to watch me, kind of starting my career. And then my mom left and drove back up to Seattle, and I stayed with Tim, and I just watched and watched and watched and learned. And it was the summer that changed my life. Summer 2014 changed my life. I was able to stay with him. I got a gig that he got me that paid me. It was The Voice, the finale, the TV finale of The Voice. I was a background vocalist for one of the guys on there on live TV, like singing pop vocals, which I've never done before. I was always a choir singing like, but to be able to go like, you don't know what you've been through, like going on stuff I've never done before. It was an incredible learning curve that was life-changing. And so I got on the background vocals of The Voice, background vocals of The Rising Star as the TV finale. I got to sing at the W Hotel Live, which is this jazz lounge every Sunday night that, like, everybody who's everybody, Justin Bieber, Ludacris, Stevie Wonder, just pop in.
Yeah.
I was a guest artist. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? This weird college kid who makes sounds is a guest artist. And I sang Bobby McFerrin's Drive, my kind of signature audition song now. That I've been learning since I was like 6.
Yeah.
And so I had a couple live gigs, studio gigs, watched, and then I stayed with my cousin for the last end of that summer and was debating, like, do I stay in LA or do I go back home? Eventually decided to go back to school, went back to school. Tim said, hey, in January, hey, there's this audition coming up for Disney. Send me like 3 minutes of your best stuff and we'll go from there. I was like, okay, cool. Tried to figure it out. Took me like 30 takes. Took probably like 50 takes. And I ended up getting frustrated, but I was like, I think that's just the best I can do. Sent it off. Lo and behold, got #1 in the country for the job, which is insane. And not only got part-time, but full-time. And there's a guy in the Orlando area that has been like the main a cappella beatboxer. And here I am. Tim arranged the music for American Music Machine, and that's what this all is. And so because of him, he was like, hey, I have this beatboxer from Seattle. Check him out. And so I sent in the video. I was the only person that sent a video. Everybody else was in person, and I got the full-time position. They congratulated me, gave me the phone call, told me, hey, you have a week to decide. You probably have to cut your hair. And it actually starts April 6th when you were told it starts in summer, which meant I would be leaving school a month and a half before graduation, at that point being on a full ride scholarship.
Oh, man.
Holy crap. Hard decision. So I spent that week thinking, holy crap, what do I want to do? Talk to my girlfriend at the time, my parents, my teachers, my Tim. I talked to every single person I could to try to figure out. God, tried to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And on the last day, I still had not heard word if my hair got approved or not. So I was like, I don't know. But that morning, Disney called me, said, hey, your hair got approved. And I was like, praise God.
Yes.
I didn't want to cut my hair.
No, man.
Said no.
That's the most beautiful hair I've ever seen. And that needs to live on forever.
Yes, it does. So thankfully they said that. I decided I was going to quit school a month and a half before graduation. Left April 5th. Drove down with my mom flew down with my mom to Orlando, Florida, to live with the family friend 50 minutes east of Disney, and that's where Florida began. And I've been here ever since.
Wow. Man, quite a journey.
Yeah, man. It's been, and like the thing is, Tim not only started my career, but he's like my #1 mentor as well, which is really cool because typically producers are people that you kind of use singers sometimes, who they are. And you don't even really know who they are. You just get hired for a gig and then you peace out. But Tim is he saved my life, honestly. Where I was mentally, I had a couple panic attacks that took me into these deep spirals that, was quite frankly considering ending life type of stuff that, most people don't really know about. And, why would you share it? But I kind of knew, things will only get worse mentally, and I will likely end things myself. And meeting Tim, talking about Christianity, and talking about faith and where he sees my life going, and why to ignore the devilish signs of things trying to hold me back really saved my life. And now I 100% know I am living my life to the fullest I possibly can be and achieving the life I can possibly live. I mean, imagining I wouldn't be living this right now is crazy and scary and sad and amazing. So the fact that I get to live this blessed life and live it out the best I possibly can is like my goal. And it's for like a reason I don't even know why. Like I never had like a parent that whipped me saying, do your best. Like I always had parents that supported me, but there's something in me that's like, I am here on this earth to do only my best. That's what I'm here for. And with the people and counselors and teachers to help guide me along the way with all the things that are going on, from like inspiration to desperation and everything in my mind, to have people kind of align it on a path and set it written down, have been able to help me kind of figure this out and help me along the way. And that's why I am the man I am and the musician that I am and the professional that I am right now.
That's incredible, man. That's so awesome. Great. It's awesome that, you had someone there that could kind of guide you in that way and get you to where, to get you on the right path to where you want to go. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Now you've moved to Florida. You got this job. Talk a little bit about what that is, American Music Machine, and working at Disney, and like what that's all about. Yeah. So really, it is a dream come true, which is pretty funny because the sign you drive under every day is like, "Welcome to Disney World, where dreams come true." And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's pretty amazing. So the American Music Machine show has been going on for 2 years and unfortunately is closing September 30th. Oh, wow.
Because of budgeting stuff. It's a really difficult show to keep up and running. Typically, any Disney performance show has contingencies. So if something doesn't work, they have a workaround.
Yeah.
For us, we really don't, because you need all 5 people there. Otherwise, you can't do a show. If there's thunder and lightning because we're outside, we're down. A lot of shows at Disney are indoors, so they're fine. So there's a lot of, everything has to work perfectly, which is why they're closing it. But since I moved here, I've really been, honestly, trying to figure out how to motivate myself to the equivalent of being in school and a teacher telling you, this is the deadline, otherwise you fail. But in life, you have no deadlines.
Right.
In life, you have to set your own, which has been so freaking difficult for me to figure out, which I think is the thing for everybody outside of college.
Yeah.
Outside of school, high school, college, whatever you do, to be your own teacher.
Yeah, and the thing about it that I see too, that I'm trying to work on is like, how do you measure success? Like, you have to measure success your own way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't decide what's success for you, and you can't decide what's success for me. It's going to be different for everybody, and that kind of goes with like hitting those deadlines too. It's like no one can tell you, okay, you did this, now you're successful. You have to make that distinction. Absolutely. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And I've been learning a lot about myself. Really, like the most growth I've had in my entire life is since being in Florida. Spiritually, mentally, musically, all these different things. American Music Machine helped my beatboxing from this fun, casual thing turn into like now you're a drummer for a group, and you have to be in time for the stamina of the singers that are equity singers that you're performing with. Mm-hmm. So my timing has like quadrupled like 100 times over, 100 times fold improved. I now, to a click track, can tell I am 1 click off when it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, getting right back on.
Yeah.
When before I couldn't at all. And singing wise, I was only a choir singer. So now doing this, I'm finding my own voice. So doing American Music Machine is my main full-time job. However, I've been trying to kind of still being the person I am, trying to find different avenues to keep growing in. Mm-hmm. And so I've been pursuing being a music composer and producer. EDM and R&B has kind of been my main genres right now. Like right now in my studio, I have my MIDI keyboard, $400 mic, and a $1,000 preamp, like all these different things, studio monitors, stuff that I have accumulated over the years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me with just my MIDI keyboard and my laptop from like college.
Yeah, that's how Dope As Day was born, and now look how it's grown.
Yeah, it's like, here I am doing my music.
Yeah, man.
And it takes this amount of time to really get everything put together. And now I have done gigs for professional movies. I was on, I guess it was horribly rated, and I haven't actually watched it, but Office Christmas Party.
Okay, yeah.
They used like my rap track that I recorded in my room.
Wow.
So like, that was,
I didn't know about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And like, there's an Air Bud movie coming out that's like with dogs, and like I am one of the 3 rapping dogs that you hear in the film. And I, again, recorded that in my room. My first recording gig was actually on a cruise ship. I was with Voice Play, substituting with them, being on a cruise. First of all, I've never been on a cruise before. And in the 5 cruises I've been on, I've been paid. Hey. And let me tell you something. When you're a performer on a cruise, it's literally a paid cruise.
Yeah.
You perform 2 out of the 5 nights, and 3 of the other days you just chill. Yeah. Paid. Crazy. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends who that I went to school with in LA who, musical theater, and they book cruise ships and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's an awesome thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I've done a couple studio sessions here at home. I've done studio sessions in a professional studio, a Disney studio for Disney Tokyo, as beatboxing and rapping and sending demos. I don't know how, I do not put out in the world that I'm a rapper. But again, with the whole Yes Man thing, I got hired once for a Disney session, and there's a guy from LA, a producer from LA, that saw me there and then spread the word in LA to a few producers that I'm a rapper. And then I've gotten calls for rap sessions, and now I've loved it, and it's awesome. And, I want to be a voiceover actor. That's practically what it is. You act like a rapper, and then you just spit the words like beatboxing super fast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a culmination of all these things I like doing all put together. And so work at Disney, Universal Studios as a singer, all these different sessions. I fly out to LA like once a year so far for maybe a random gig here and there. And then the rest is literally whatever I want to do. And that is the difficult time. That's where it's like, okay, do I sit on my computer and on Facebook and Instagram and just scroll and do nothing? Or do I learn that song I've been wanting to do, learn how to beatbox better, pick up the electric bass, which I now have, play the trumpet, the accordion, the piano, get better at mic technique, at all these things that I know I want to get better at, I'm learning how to, figure out. So it's been a journey, but I love it.
Right on, man. And now you are diving into a new endeavor at Disney, a new show, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so super, super freaking excited. I am now part-time Nakawa in the Lion King show. Now, separate from like the regular like Lion King Broadway show, it's a different show, but it's a show at Animal Kingdom in Disney World that's there 7 days out of the week. But I will be there every once in a while as a substitute. Actually, just got a contract for 1 day contract over there that I'll be starting in October. So
nice. Anybody
who's coming to Orlando, I'll be there. I'm
check them out.
not sure what day. I think Mondays. Okay. From at least October until February.
Right on.
So, yeah, cool things with that. That's a completely new role. That's like a tenor, super high voice, learning how to manage my voice in that upper range, just doing what I can with each gig. And that has been so much fun.
Right on. What kind of show is it? Like what kind of things?
So it's kind of like it's a theater show. So if anybody's been to the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom, it's pretty much the show happens. I forgot what it's called, but there's 4 different sections all around the entire.
So you're in the round, yeah.
Yeah, the round, yeah. So like the singers come out and we do our own spiel, and people are like, "Oh, singers, cool. What's going on?" There's nothing here. It's just risers on all 4 sides of the room. And then out of nowhere, things start coming out from all different places, and there's dancers and acrobatics and stilt walkers. And Simba comes out and all this different stuff that you're like, wow, that's just like stimulant overload with lights and smoke and singing. And so I'm one of the 4 singers in that. And so I'm a prince who's this young, energetic prince whose name is Nakawa. And so like the first line, this guy Kyume, the leader of the group, says, "And this is Nakawa." And I say, which is Swahili for good looking.
Nice.
Which is I love it. And oh my gosh, if I need motivation to make sure I keep my abs, my entire side of my entire body is exposed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you gotta keep hitting those crunches.
Gotta keep on going.
Awesome. So what's What's in the future? What do you? I know it's hard to, you never know what's going to happen. But what would you like to do? You want to stay in Florida? What's the future hold for you? What kind of things do you want to get into?
The dream for me would be, where I see myself going is LA, probably in like 2-3 years, unless something calls me there, which I recently had a major audition that happened there a couple months ago that I can't share the details with. But like, if something like that comes up where it pulls me randomly to LA, then I'm going.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm waiting for is something awesome like that, reminding me that the hard work I put in is really going to benefit and make a difference in the future. So for me, being a music producer is my dream. I would love to collaborate with world-class artists from literally all over the world, travel the world, working with multiple different types of any type of genre of music with people, and just collaborating as much as I can. My roommate's outside beatboxing, making fun of me though. And so, like with my whole setup at home, I want to learn how to like put together my own music creativity to create music and put that out in the world. I want to have my original music out in the world. I want to beatbox, EDM. I'd love to have like EDM, like hard-hitting Z-style music that's just like, whoa, that was Antonio?
Yeah.
And even better, like, whoa, that was him beatboxing. Like, if I can incorporate that somehow would be incredible. But just staying hungry. That's the dream, is just staying hungry, because I've been able to already see that as long as I stay hungry, things will just happen. I'm not your one person with a guitar performing, here's my one album with my one genre. I'm more of a absolutely surround me with music and musical excellence, and I will just keep going and keep going.
Awesome.
That's kind of where it's at. So like, if I can be a professional bass player, awesome. Professional keyboard player, sweet. Professional live singer and studio singer and musical entrepreneur of all sorts, like jack of all trades. If I can do it, I'm totally willing to put in the effort to make it happen, and kind of see where it goes. But yeah, maybe LA, 2 years, produce, perform, be on TV. I want to be Bob McFerrin famous, where it's like there's an exclusion of like a couple million, well, like maybe 1 million or maybe even less people that like legit know who you are, but you're not like People Magazine famous.
You can walk down the street.
Yeah, I can walk down the street and people be like, I think that's that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But then have like a circle of people really that just appreciate the same type of music that I do.
Yeah. And
like see my dedication and effort towards it.
Right.
So somehow I feel like that will happen. We'll just see, as long as I keep trucking.
That's right. I take this is in jest, but I take a lot of credit for your success, because I remember being 14 years old and at baseball practice telling you to practice in the shower because it sounds better.
Dude, totally.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, that's when things exploded for him, when I told him to practice in the shower. That's when he got better.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's cool to have like family and friends be like, bro, like you're going to be famous. That's really cool. Keep up the hard work. And even in high school, like in the yearbook, I got voted, which I couldn't believe, but I got voted most likely to become famous.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it's awesome to have people support me, but even better and even more like important to me is to have the people in that field tell me they want me.
Right.
Because it's a wonderful thing to have support like that, love and support from your family and friends.
Absolutely.
But when you have the people that are in the business that tell you the same thing, that's when for me I'm like, okay, this actually can happen. My friends are actually right. They tell me the truth.
It's tangible. It's something that's like real. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Don't want to believe them so much that I don't have to do any work, but believe them enough to keep me driven.
All right. Exactly. Awesome. Well, last thing I always ask my guests to take us out, if there's anyone who's listening right now who might be younger, who has these dreams that they want to chase, that they can relate to you, who they might think, oh, I can't do that. There's a reason I can't do that. That's not for me. What would you say to those people? What's your message to the dreamers out there chasing a dream?
Pretty much everybody is here for a purpose. And when people say, wow, you're talented, a lot of people think of the generic musician, actor, like those major labels. But everyone is talented in a specific area. And so pretty much for me to say to everybody else is like, find your reason why. Find your reason why you're here. And even on the simple thing of like why you're doing what you love, why? Because if you just do what you love, when you're down and out and you lost hope, then you don't have something to bring you back up. But if you have a reason, you have a reason for getting back up. So find what motivates you at all times. Always be aware of where your mind is. That way you can keep it in check. And don't compare yourself to others. Like, only compare yourself to who you were yesterday, because that's all you can really compete with in a logical sense. And pretty much just follow what you love to do. And you never know how that'll turn out.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, right on. That's a great message. Thank you for coming on today, man. It's been an awesome talk. Where can everybody follow you, like on Instagram or Twitter or whatever? How can people stay connected with what you're doing and what you got going on?
Totally. So pretty much my main source of social media is Instagram, and it's Antonio Man. Let me double check. I think it's Antonio Fernandez 22. Yeah, Antonio Fernandez 22.
Cool.
You follow me on there. I'll have, regular posts and stories kind of going on. You catch up on what I have going on randomly on the day if I'm doing hot yoga or beatboxing or whatever.
On. Well, awesome, man. It's been so amazing catching up and talking to you. Thank you again for coming on to this podcast. It's something I was very excited to have you on and kind of tell your story. Awesome to see you doing so well, and hope to see you in LA soon. And we can kick it and hang out and see where it goes. So best of luck to you, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, man.
Best of luck to you too, man. Always good to see you. Such a pleasure to be here, and yeah, man. Let's just keep trucking and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. All right. Antonio Fernandez, everybody.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
All right, another big thank you to Antonio Fernandez for coming on the podcast. So good to catch up with my old buddy. So good to hear him tell his story. So inspiring. So happy for him. Make sure you guys check him out on Instagram and all that stuff so you can stay tuned on what he's got going on, different projects, everything like that. And now, before we get into the conversation I have with my mom, like always, I'm going to play you a little ditty that he did with his friend DJ Young. This song is called Box, featuring my buddy Antonio Fernandez. Now, DJ Young, he's a great singer. He does all the background vocals and the lead melody for this song, but Antonio did all the beatboxing and vocal bass line. This entire thing is a cappella. It's amazing. It actually won a bunch of awards at the Independent Music Awards. It won Best R&B Song and Best Acapella Song, and also at the Contemporary Acapella Recording Awards, won Best Original Song. Very, very well deserved. It's an amazing song, great message, very catchy. You'll love it. Here it is, DJ Young featuring Antonio Fernandez. This is Box.
Some days I'm happy, some days I'm blue, some days I'm certain, other days I'm confused. At times I see clearly, other times I'm blind. There are times I want to be found, sometimes I hide, but all of these things fully complete me, so I even try to put me into your box. No, 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 no. Get me out of your box, yeah. Some days I'm low, some days I'm content, some days I'm a sinner, but God ain't through with me yet. Sometimes I feel low, other times I'm high. There are times I know the way, and other times I need a guide. But all of these things fully complete me, so I even try to fit me into your box. No, 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 no. Get me out of your box, yeah. Don't fit me into your box. Why you even trying to put me into your box? I can only be me, yeah, yeah. so don't. You can't box me. Yo, box.
Oh, you didn't know?
What's up, Mom?
Nothing.
You been, I don't know, staying out of the heat and staying out of the ash and everything that's going on up there?
Yeah, it's been really yucky. I mean, I have air conditioning, so I never really feel the heat too bad, but it's been real, overcast, even though it's hot.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's like, what's the point?
Fires.
Yeah. That's crazy. There's been fires here in LA. There's fires up in the Northwest. There's hurricanes. Like, it's crazy times. What's going on?
Global warming.
Yeah. Right on. Well,
Yeah.
I just got into Reddit. I know you know a little bit about Reddit.
No, I don't.
It's kind of just like forums and stuff like that. And
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I asked, something's happening. What are you clicking?
I don't know.
Why are you doing that? Now I can see your screen.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, you're messing everything up. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Stop messing around. Why did you?
I see me in a little corner and it's really dark.
Oh my gosh! What is the point of seeing you? You don't need to see you. What do you mean you don't see me?
I don't see you.
Because you're messing with the screen. Everything was fine, and now you're messing with it.
Excuse me. Stop sharing the screen. Okay.
You're doing it again. Oh my gosh! Figure it out.
Oh God! Stop sharing.
And all I hear is you slamming the keyboard.
I know, because
That's all anyone's going to hear on the podcast now is you just slamming.
Nothing is working.
It's fine. Just we can hear you fine. That's all that matters. We don't need to see you. We don't see you
I
anyways.
need to see you
Why? You don't need to see me.
because it helps me. Makes it feel more real.
Oh my gosh! What is?
I need reality.
Why can't you see me?
I don't know. You're not there. I'm sharing my desktop.
Stop doing that.
Well, I'm trying to stop, but it won't stop. Okay, there. Now I'm not.
There. No, stop. Don't touch anything.
I want to see you.
Okay, give me a second.
There you are.
There. Gosh. Anyways, like I was saying, make sure this is still recording because I think you ruined everything.
Oh my God.
Okay, it looks like we're fine. So just don't touch anything. But yeah, I was saying I got onto Reddit. I've never been on Reddit before, and everyone loves Reddit. And I was like, oh, this would be an interesting way to get things to talk about. And I thought of some you can ask. There's a forum called Ask Reddit. You can just ask a question and just randos will answer for you. And one of the things that I asked was, what is some advice you got from your parents that you wished you would have listened to? Because I don't know. I'm sure you've told me things that I've not listened to or something.
Your whole life, yeah.
I don't think so. I can't think of anything specifically where.
Because you didn't listen.
Yeah, I guess. Some of these are crazy.
Yeah.
Like this one of them, some normal stuff. Study harder. That's one. It's just an easy one. Cool. One was grades and community service equal money when it comes to applying for college.
Wow.
That's pretty smart.
That is.
I could have. I don't know. Anyways, be careful with credit cards. I thought I was, but I was not.
I've told you that.
Yeah. Someone says their parents told them not to buy a house in 2006 with a subprime mortgage with a high interest second loan for the down payment with balloon payments.
That's good.
And I don't know what any of that means, but it doesn't sound good.
Smart.
But they didn't listen to their parents, so.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. But then I had one that was awesome. This was the first one I asked, and it was like something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I don't really have an answer for myself yet, but it was, if you could go back 5 years and tell yourself something, what would it be? And some of these are real sad. Some of them are the same. So like, oh, I'd go back and tell myself lottery numbers so I can, or it's like who's going to win the Super Bowl and like bet money and all that stuff. But like one person was like, be more socially active and ask that guy out. That makes me kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man.
Well, hey, they could have said, maybe would have said no, so what the heck?
Exactly. You never know. And that's what I think. Yeah.
So just move on.
That's what I think. That's what I think too. If I think about like, oh, don't let, don't get wrapped up in this person. They're going to break your heart or whatever like that. But it's like, it's made me who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything I've been through has made me through him. So I don't want to change anything. But one of them was like, one person said, get that back pain checked out. It's not normal back pain. And I'm like, oh man, what does that mean? That's, this person's very genius. It says, invest in pumpkins and sell in mid-October. All right.
Okay, very smart.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I have trouble coming up with an answer myself on what I tell myself in 5 years. I guess I would say, like, don't be afraid to, pursue what you want to pursue. But, I mean, I guess 5 years ago is when I moved to LA. So I guess I need to go back further than 5 years to tell myself that. But I don't know. What would you say?
I probably would say plan for retirement sooner than later.
Yeah.
Since I'm now getting into those golden years.
Right. I know. And now that there's possibly a computer coming my way when you retire, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Also for you to be free and enjoy life and everything like that. But at the same time, I talked about it last week on my podcast a little bit, that when I was home, I got to use your computer to edit some stuff. And it was like, oh my gosh, it takes me a full day to edit one video. And I did it in an hour and a half. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. You got spoiled.
I know. So I'm really looking forward to you finally hanging them up.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you retire? Like, what do you want to do?
Well, why do you think I brought up figure out what you're going to do for the 5 years before? I mean, it's playing back to, I don't know.
You're kind of winging it.
Should have thought about it 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right, how about this one? This is the last one I'll ask you. But I want a real story this time because you haven't really given a story yet.
Oh.
Because this one is labeled as serious. In this Reddit, you can label it as serious, where you can only get serious answers, or you don't have to do that and people say jokes. This one's labeled serious, so we need a serious answer. It says, what is your saddest breakup story and how did you get over it?
Oh, my Lord. Oh, no.
Were you the one breaking up with people?
Not quite sure you ever truly get over your saddest breakup story.
Maybe.
If in fact you were if you were the dumpee,
right.
Not the dumper.
Right.
Because I don't think it's really super sad unless you're the one that were dumped, right?
Right, exactly.
And I don't think I want to tell you that story.
Okay, well. What about, then tell me a story about you dumping someone then.
Well.
That'll be fun.
I did have one. It was kind of fun. And
it's already so mean.
Serious. I mean, I was in 11th grade or probably going into 11th grade. And it was probably a 3-month thing. But the boy that was my boyfriend was a very, 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 very cheap. Like,
okay.
He didn't take me to movies. It was Dutch like he was just really cheap. And I decided I wanted to break up with him because I don't know, that it wasn't very attractive being not really treated like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? So I decided the best thing that I could do was go out with him it was like during the day, and I like would make him take me to the 7-Eleven, and then I would go in and I'd have him buy me like a Slurpee. 'Cause see, I never asked for things, but this day I was going to ask for things that he actually had to spend money on. And then we'd go get back in the car, and then I would take one sip, and I'd go, oh, I don't like this, and I would like throw it out the window. Then I'd have him take me somewhere else. Like I got like whatever, got me a hamburger. I took a bite, don't like it. And I tell you, he did not like that day very much at all, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Oh my gosh, that's diabolical.
But he didn't want to break up.
Oh my God. So his plan didn't work.
It didn't work, but I still broke up with them.
Oh.
But that's the only time that I didn't date a lot, Tony,
Yeah.
Not really. I got along with guys like I was like one of the guys, kind of. I was well out of high school when I got serious, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have that little breakup, sad story thing.
I can't believe
Didn't
that.
happen in high school.
I can't believe that guy didn't get the hint. I would have been like, after this, probably the second, maybe if I was really patient and really liked you, the third thing I bought you that you just threw out the window, I'm saying, get out of my car.
Well, I knew, no. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have got out, but I did the most annoying thing that would bother him the most, that he would hate the most, and that's spend his money.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny? Is it funny that we do that instead of just like, and then when we're young, when we're younger, that like, instead of like being an adult and just being like, look, this is not working out. We're just like, all right, how do I get this person to break up with me?
You know what? We
never want to be the bad guy.
I'd be honest though, Tony, I really was trying to get back at him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually trying to get some, because I was laughing to myself, like, he was very confused. And, and I didn't I wasn't cruel, but I knew that little thing of throwing a Slurpee, taking one sip of the Slurpee and saying, ooh, I don't like this. And then throwing it. And it was probably 50 cents,
But he was steaming over it.
I got the biggest kick out of doing it. I really did. But and he was a nice guy. I mean, we remained friends.
And trust me, there's a lot worse things that people do to try to get their significant other to break up with them. As a way, so that's very tame.
But in real life, once I became more of an adult, I didn't do those kind of things to try to break up with someone. But this was high school. I mean, I was barely in high school. So, all
right. Well, if you're listening out there and you're trying to get out of a bad relationship, go get a Slurpee.
Don't do what I did.
I guess it didn't work. Alrighty. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it was good talking to you too. Kind of a slow night. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I need you people to send me some questions. What do you want to hear some stories about? I say that every week, but I didn't really go out because I was traveling and I just came back to LA and just kind of settling back in and getting back on a schedule. So I didn't push for questions this week. So I went to Reddit for some randos, but we'll get some more specific ones.
We'll just chat.
Yeah, we'll get some more specific ones of like you getting the cops called on you and stuff.
We need to stir up some controversy.
I know we do. Controversy creates cash, so
we do.
We'll see what comes up. All right. Well, I'm gonna get back. It's late. I got a late night ahead of me as well. So
yeah, it's midnight. I'm turning into a pumpkin. I gotta go to bed.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon. I love you very much.
Okay, love you, kid.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this week. Episode 3 of Oh You Didn't Know with me, Tony Reavis. Man, I love this episode. I got a little blood red mat at the beginning, had an awesome talk in the middle, very inspirational. Got to talk to my mom, which is always awesome. A lot of fun. I'm having fun. I'm still having fun doing this. Send me questions, guys. Hit me up on Twitter at I am Tony Reavis. Hit me up on Instagram. Send me some questions. What do you want me to talk to my mom about? What do you want me to do the opening segment about? If you have any people you want me to interview on my show, let me know. And let's get it popping. I'm very excited to continue to do this. Episode 4 next Thursday. And here comes the bad news. The Rock's still too busy for us. But it's okay. He's a busy man. I respect him. I respect his work ethic. We'll get him on here one day. It was going to be week 4. It's not going to be episode 4 now. But he promised me he will be on the show one of these weeks. So stay tuned. I promise episode 4 will have an incredible guest. You'll love it. So thank you guys for staying tuned. Check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/I am Tony Reavis for all my other videos. I'm playing games. I'm getting angry. I'm having fun. Check out the podcast. Check out my old music video, Dope Ass Day. I hope you're all having a dope ass day. Check all that out. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers before the end of October. So let's make it happen. I'm like halfway there, so let's make it happen. Again, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. I am Tony Reavis. You can check this out on iTunes, soundcloud.com/OYDK Podcast, and here on YouTube. All those different platforms. Make sure you subscribe to all those platforms to stay up to date with what we got going on, people. We're doing it. I'm excited. I love y'all. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for listening. Check me out next week. If you don't know, now you know. I am Tony Reavis. I'm out.